Well, if you're sick of LinkedIn, there is a viable alternative now, and we have the CEO, Rick Marini, here on the set with us, and the company is called BranchOut. You may have seen it on Facebook. Thank you very much, Rick, here for the next big thing in tech segment where we talk to an actual entrepreneur doing actual entrepreneurial things. Tell us what BranchOut is for those people that don't know.
Sure. BranchOut is the largest professional network on Facebook. We allow users to utilize their existing network of Facebook friends to be able to find jobs, recruit talent, get sales leads, or just career network.
And you guys are growing pretty fast, right?
Yeah, the growth has been pretty crazy lately. We're growing at 3 new users per second, which means that's about 2 million users per week with no marketing.
And what are you at total right now?
We just crossed 25 million registered users last week. And we had a good luck around the number 25. We also raised 25 million of new funding, and we're now the 25th largest app on Facebook.
Wow, and LinkedIn, from stories I've read, is getting new users at two new users a second. Why do I want to go to BranchOut rather than LinkedIn? And I've seen the requests for BranchOut, but something about Facebook is kind of like making me feel Tell me why I shouldn't be doing that, because we talk a lot about Facebook privacy issues.
Well, before you answer that, I have to say I disagree with your premise, which is that people are not running away from LinkedIn. I think people are pretty happy with LinkedIn, so I think that makes their challenge even harder.
Well, I think LinkedIn's a great service, and I think they do a really good job addressing the 10% of the global workforce that would be considered white-collar managerial C-level, and we also address that market as well. But what about the other 90%, right? So we finally give a professional voice, a professional identity to the other 90%. Think about recent college grads or returning military, customer service, cashiers. All of those people have been using Facebook for years, curated a real friend graph on Facebook, and many of those people have never even heard of LinkedIn.
But LinkedIn has over 100 million users. I think they are moving down into the sort of non-elite part of the professional class. What is the...
Yes, I'm on it.
Yes,
there you go.
I agree with you on that.
Quite proven.
But why, to Simon's question, what's the sort of value add for a user to use your service?
And to that point, a network is exponentially more important the bigger it is. So right. I mean, it's more than, and LinkedIn is more than it's 4 times bigger. That's got to mean it's more than 4 times as useful in some ways.
Well, we think LinkedIn is useful. And for me, LinkedIn is someone I meet at a conference for 5 minutes, and I want to use LinkedIn as a business directory and keep in touch with those people. Facebook, though, is very different because Facebook is my real relationships, my support network. The people that will go out of their way to get my resume at the top of the pile, to make an introduction for sales or recruiting. And we believe at the end of the day, real relationships matter the most. And the other thing about Facebook is the scale. Facebook has 850 million users a month, which is about 10 times the size of LinkedIn, but 500 million of them come back every day on Facebook. So you've got the frequency and the scale on Facebook.
Are you a member of BranchOut?
No, I'm not, but I've definitely been hearing about it more, which speaks well to your marketing or your viral growth.
Yeah, it's really all. We spend no money on marketing.
Yeah. So you've got some funding, $25 million, and that's great. Now, I like to ask of all entrepreneurs about what mistakes they've made in other businesses. You've had a business called Tickle, which sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Not quite sure it sounds legal, but tell us about your experience being an entrepreneur and mistakes you've made and what you learned from that, because I think people like to hear about that.
Sure, yeah. So I've been an entrepreneur in Silicon Valley for 13 years. So I've definitely seen a lot of mistakes, made some mistakes along the way. And I would say if you haven't made some mistakes, you haven't played hard enough, right? To be an entrepreneur means you're going to take risks. You've got to take risks that the big guys aren't willing to take. And some of those risks might be hiring the wrong person, and those usually are smaller and inconsequential. But one of the bigger ones that we had is my second company I founded after Tickle, which is called Superfan. Superfan allowed users to be to like everything that's interesting to them: sports, music, the arts. The issue there is that 3 months after we allowed everybody to like these things on Superfan, Facebook launched likes on Facebook.
So your competitive advantage was gone.
Was gone. It was a really good idea, and Facebook ended up doing it on much bigger scale, which means you have to be able to pivot. And what we did is we understood we're not going to beat Facebook at that game, so why don't we learn that game and become an app developer? And then we pivoted Superfan to become BranchOut.
Are you exclusive to Facebook, or are you going beyond Facebook?
Right now, we are exclusive to Facebook. We've got a great partnership with them. Like I said, we're the large professional network.
Does that concern you at all, though, given all the other issues they've had with in your past companies? Is that something you're going to hedge on?
Well, it's something we think about, of course. But for me, Facebook has allowed Zynga to create a $9 or $10 billion company in less than 4 years. There's no way Zynga could have grown that fast outside of Facebook. And Facebook is two things. One, they're a platform company. They want companies like us to disrupt multi-billion-dollar markets like recruiting. And then they're an advertising company. They're not trying to be a recruiting company or a social gaming company. They know what they're really good at, and the developer ecosystem is really important for Facebook and our partnership.
Great stuff,
All right.
and we have to leave it there.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. Rick Marini of BranchOut, CEO, here on The Next Big Thing in Tech.